Bay League action is on the air at City TV from Olympian Gymnasium on the campus of Leuzinger High School. The Leuzinger Olympians will battle the Mira Costa Mustangs in a big game in the Bay League action. Along with Sebastian Spencer and Igadu DeLeu, Rufus Washington, I'm Lou Stowers, welcoming you to our game of the week. And Rufus Washington, it's always a big game in the Bay League, especially when the Olympians welcome in the Mustangs.
It absolutely is, and you're right, Lou. It is a big game because right now, Leuzinger wants to hold on to second place and get to their last game against Redondo with a shot at the Bay League title, or at least a share of it. But going through Mira Costa will not be easy. They are a tough, tested team.
And Sebastian Spencer, the Mira Costa Mustangs, feature two men on this team that really make this team go around, Justin Springs and Cole Feaster.
Definitely. Justin Springs is their big-time player, and Ryan Kasef as well, the big man in the middle. But more importantly, Coach Jeff Amaro in his second year coaching varsity, taking over at Mira Costa, has got them looking very respectable at 15-8 and also 4-3 in league, losing a couple games, but very close in matchups. I look for this to be a very competitive game tonight.
And Igadu, the Leuzinger Olympians have been a little bit sluggish lately. What do they have to do to get their offensive back in gear?
Well, the Mustangs coach said their offense has been slugging a little bit, but he thinks the defense can keep them in this game and actually win it for them. They said they have to take care of turnovers and also utilize the fast break situations. A player they have to watch out for today is Cole Foster. They have to give him different looks all night so he doesn't get comfortable in his game tonight.
That's going to do it for the pregame show. The starting lineups and the tip-off coming up next. It's the Mustangs coming in to take on the Olympians on City TV. Courtside at Lou House, and the Olympians about ready to take on the Mustangs just before we get the starting lineups from PA announcer Anna Tukutau. And there's the Spirit Squad for Leuzinger. Kind of a light crowd tonight, Rufus, against Redondo. We couldn't find, we had to shoehorn people in here, but tonight, a little bit light.
Exactly right, but I tell you what, the ones who are here are going to see a show for their money. Certainly because, as we talked about, Mira Costa is not a team to be taken lightly. You know, if they were to come out of here tonight with a W, they position themselves for no worse than a second place share of the Bay League title.
Now this is a veteran Mustang team. So Justin Strings is a junior, Ryan Kasef is a senior in the middle, also Oliver Mausner, and then Kevin Kim, he's a senior as well. Cole Feaster, probably considered their captain, he is a senior as well. There you see the Mira Costa Mustangs, and we're just about ready to get them introduced. And Redondo is at the top of the heap in the Bay League at 7-0. Leuzinger 6-1. Mira Costa at 4-3. Mira Costa Mustangs at 15-8, 4-3, third in the Bay League, like we just said. They will start with number 5, a 6'4", 200-pound junior, and that's Jeff Strings. Jeff leads the team in scoring at 13.8 points a game and also is an 68% foul shooter, but he also gets almost 7 rebounds a game as well. Number 10, Ryan Kasef. But first of all, they're going to start off with the national anthem, so let's enjoy the national anthem at Leuzinger. Still getting ready for the national anthem as it was announced. And again, the crowd still coming in tonight for tonight's game, so maybe a little bit of traffic out there. Our usual duet here at Lou House with the national anthem, and they do a terrific job. You know, Rufus, are getting better every week.
No lip syncing there, that's for sure.
That's right. And you know what? They do better with all that makeup and hairspray, or without it. Okay, now we can get to the starting lineups. There you see Enna Ducatau. And there is number 23, Cole Feaster, a point guard, 6 foot, 175-pound senior.
He's the
Next
engine
up,
that makes him go.
and is it Kevin Kim, number 14, a 5'11 guard, and he is a senior as well. Number 11, Oliver Mausner, a 6'3", 200-pounder, a senior, and he leads his team with 40 3-pointers. Ryan Kasef, a 6'6", 195-pound senior, and he is going to be a load in the middle, and we'll just see how they use him on defense. And number 5, Justin Strings, a 6'4 junior, 200-pounder, the leading scorer on this team with 13.8 points. Didn't have a good game against the Olympians at Mira Costa.
Well, he'll be looking to rebound again tonight on the road. Yeah, it was interesting to see that Mira Costa went to Redondo on the road and played them very tough a couple of nights ago, although they came up just a little bit short.
That's right. The Mustangs are coached by Jeff Amaral in his second year, a terrific young man. Now let's meet the Leuzinger Olympians at 18-5, 6-1, second in the Bay League, as Dante Johnson will welcome one of the Olympians. Let's just start off at the top. That's Deontay Welsh, number 2, a 6'4", 185 senior. First up was Eric Childress, the point guard and the captain, a 6 foot, 175-pound senior. Number 11, Michael McMillian, a forward, 6 foot, 165. He is a senior. And number 33, Travion Anderson. Trey is a guard, also a captain, a 6'1", 175-pound senior. And playing in the middle, it'll be Justin Delgado, wearing number 34 tonight. He's a 6'1", 175-pound senior, and his game has been getting better every game. If there was a most improved player on this team, he's got it locked up.
Oh, absolutely. And a great personality to boot.
Head coach of the Olympians is Ali Parvaz in his third year, 56-19. His Olympians are ranked number 1 in CIF Southern Section 3AA. Meanwhile, the Mustangs are ranked number 4 in CIF Division 2AA. And just about ready to get underway. Our officials tonight, Steve Elliott and Kevin Hauk out of the South Bay. So talking about Mira Costa at Redondo, or hosting Redondo. Yeah, that was at Redondo. They lost 62-56, and it was a very close game according to Jeff Amaral.
Right, and that does not particularly bode well for the Olympians tonight, but at least in this game, the matchup is pretty even height-wise. That has been one of the things they've struggled with all season.
Deontay Welch out-jumps the taller Ryan Kasef, and we're underway. The Olympians have the ball to start things off. Delgado has it. Olympians with new uniforms tonight and new shoes, donated by a store owner at the Fox Hills Mall. So very appreciative there. But I kind of miss the rainbow color shoes, or rainbow array of shoes, I should say. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It still remains Leuzinger ball, or is it?
Actually, there's going to be a personal foul called against Cole Feaster, I believe, which is going to send Delgado to the line to shoot 2. That foul occurred on the far side of the court, away from us.
So Delgado makes the first one, a 67% foul shooter. And the first point of the game belongs to Leuzinger and the coach, Ali Parvaz. So an early lead for the Olympians, and this one may come down to who's the better free throw shooting team tonight. Feaster with it, skips it across, taken by Kasef. Kasef now to Strings. Strings looks like he's grown a bit since last year.
Well, he certainly has. And of course, you'd expect to see him down low, but he's playing way out top.
No one is really down low right now as it's cleared out for Feaster, who lays it up and in. Cole averaging almost 13 points a game, ties it up. Childress, a long three, setting the tone early.
And that one brought rain, Lou.
It's a good thing we have a high curve here, almost like a field house or a hangar effect here at Lou House. Eric Childress not taking his usual time and dialing in, and Feaster wants to answer, can't do it. Rebound is taken, and back comes Trey Anderson. Anderson gets it over to Welch, now to Childress again, being guarded by Kim. McMillian back out front to Anderson. Just underway. 5-2 lead in favor of Leuzinger. Anderson gets rid of Strings, but can't get rid of Mausner, who blocked it out of bounds, and it'll be Leuzinger ball. 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
So that's plenty of time to set the offense and get the shot that you want.
Nice pass to McMillian, a fall-away jumper. No, a little bit too long. Strings with the rebound. And back comes Cole Feaster for the Mustangs with 6:05 left to go in the first quarter. Mausner with it now. Strings.
Leuzinger right now showing man-to-man defense.
Kim with a three-pointer. That's going to be short. Rebound off to Delgado. If he can get inside those trees that the Mustangs have, he should have a good night. Childress again was knocked down by Kim. No call. Rebound is off, taken by Kasich. And back comes Feaster. 5:30 left to go in the first, as both teams have gone a little bit cold. Strings wants everybody to clear him a lane, but gets it back out to Feaster. Kim with the bright green shoes gets it back to Feaster. Takes on Delgado, but stripped away by Delgado. And here comes Childress on the fast break. Doesn't have numbers, but he doesn't care.
Wow. Nice reverse layup by Eric Childress on the coast-to-coast drive.
And that was all started by Justin Delgado's steal. Strings with it. Goes in front of Delgado, stops and pops.
Nice pull-up jumper by Strings on that one, because Justin had him set up for the charge. That foul's going to go against number 10. That's Kasich. It'll be his first. And Deontay Welch will go to the line to shoot a pair.
And Deontay Rufus shooting 66% on the season. Making the first one.
So he was 100% on the night so far.
Boy, you'd like to see those averages well over 70%. But we've come to 1 out of 2 for Welch, but we've come to become matter of fact about 60%. Well, 60% is actually pretty good for a high school kid.
Although it's still the easiest shot in basketball.
Kim just misses it as he's dialing in, as Kevin has 25 threes on the year, so they're going to have to keep an eye on him on beyond the arc. Welch has an eye on the ball.
Wow. Deontay Welch with a triple, so he's got 4 early points, and the early lead is 11-4 in favor of the Olympians.
2 3-pointers cashed in by Leuzinger early on. We're just about at the halfway point. Ball is tipped out of bounds, and it'll be Leuzinger ball. So second turnover of the night for Mira Costa. Trey Anderson with it. Delgado gets it to Childress, wearing a sleeve on his left arm. Wants to go baseline against Kim.
Had to call that. I'm sorry, that was a block, and that block is going to go against Kevin Kim. Just as you're about to say it, I mean, he essentially forced Childress out of bounds with his body. The official, Steve Houck, saw it and made the call. I'm sorry, I said Steve Houck, Kevin Houck. Steve is Elliott.
Connor Kernican in the ball game for the Mustangs, along with KJ Garrett. So they make the first changes of the game. Eric Childress, don't think he's taken any time off in a long time. Ball bounced low to Delgado, was almost triple teamed Anderson from the free throw line. Can't get the sweet kiss off the glass. And it's rebounded by Kernigan. And back come the Mustangs with 3:25 left to go in the first. Strings on the give and go and got it to go in. So Justin with 4 points early on.
And that time Justin in the paint on that play. You heard me mention earlier that he was playing way out on the perimeter. I think his success is going to come inside.
Whipped around to Childress. A little bit long. Strings with the rebound. Outlet to Feaster. Feaster to Garrett. And back out to Cole. Strings for three. A little bit long. Rebound being bounced around. Volleyball. Finally taken by Garrett. His long arms get it to go in on the teardrop.
And Garrett kept that play alive on sheer hustle, Lou, and it rewards himself with a deuce.
KJ Garrett is listed at 6'2". Boy, his arms look a little bit longer than that. But now looking at him, looks like he's about 6'2", but those arms might be 6'5".
Right.
Big wingspan on KJ. Childress up under, bounces, count it, and one. 7 points for Eric Childress. And coming in the ball game is Devon Abner. And coming out for Leuzinger will be McMillian. Childress misses it. Fourth team foul on the Mustangs. Didn't see who got nailed for that foul, Rufus.
It was number 14, Lou. Kevin Kim is what I thought I saw the official indicate.
Then that would be his second. Underneath, nice alley-oop pass completed by Kasich, his first bucket of the game. And the Mustangs hanging in there, down by 3.
After trailing by 11-4, so they've outscored the Olympians 6-2.
Delgado, with a good defensive play, gets the turnover as the Mustangs went back court. Actually, no.
The Olympians
went back court. So, first turnover of the ball game for Leuzinger. Strings with it against Abner, and the rebound got stuck. Strings ends up with it, and one.
And that one's going to go against Justin Delgado. Saw Delgado grab the arm. Strings able to put it in.
So Strings can tie the ball game up. That's Justin's first personal, first team foul. And I'll tell you what, Justin Springs is making up for what he didn't get done in the first time these two teams met, but can't tie the ball game with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter. Follow-away jump shot swatted away. Stephen Nathan's shot was blocked by Kasich. Rebound is put up and in by Justin Delgado.
Nice baseline feed by Eric Childress to set that up, though.
Feaster going up against Anderson. Man is up in the air. KJ Garrett goes baseline, and 2 foul shots are going to be awarded.
As the foul's going to go against Travion Anderson.
His first personal, second team foul.
Looks like Travion fouled him with his jaw. At least that's what he's wanted. He's like, I got all the contact in my face.
So first one is missed by KJ. Second one is in. KJ, 70% foul shooter with 3 points. Under a minute left to go in the first. Bad pass. Feaster has it, looking for his first bucket. Can't get it to go, but the garbage is put up and in by Connor Kernokin. His first bucket of the game. And now it is tied at 15 with 40 seconds left to go.
Yeah.
And the baby is in the basket.
Yeah. And you got to keep the proverbial rule. Keep your eyes on the ball.
one of the assistant coach's moms. She should know better than that, as we just saw Jeff Amaral. Dump down low, and Knoken fumbles it out of bounds. So it's turned over to the Olympians with 30 seconds left. Shot clock is dark for Eric Childress as it brings it across the line. Whittling some time off. Zone defense shown by the Mustangs right now.
Exactly, a 2-3 zone at that.
Childress directing traffic. 8 seconds, 7. Somebody's got to do something in a hurry. There's a pick. Childress for 3. A little off the mark. And it goes out of bounds as the buzzer sounds to end the first quarter. We're all tied up at 15, Rufus.
All tied up at 15, Lou, but at the 4:08 mark, Leuzinger led 11-4, so that got reversed. So they scored 11 in the first half of the quarter. In the second half of the quarter, Mira Costa responded with 11 of their own and held Leuzinger to 4. That's how we end up at 15 all after 1.
Well, Jeff Amaral went big on the Olympians, bringing in KJ Garrett, and also Ryan Kasef was going pretty good too. So that really seemed to make a difference by the Mustangs getting a little taller.
And you know, but I think, to me, Lou, it's what you said earlier. And man, there just is not a certain energy level, I think, that is conducive to the players being energetic and really getting after it. It's kind of, you know, it's too low key for them at this point.
Well, that's what Coach Parvaz was telling us pregame as well. And it's nobody's secret. And I think the Mustangs are trying to take advantage of that right now. But there's a lot of basketball to go. Feaster with it, going around the Garrett pick. Goes down underneath, has the ball swatted away by Childress. And it'll be out of bounds with 19 seconds left to go. Childress is lucky there was no foul call on that.
Absolutely, because I certainly was expecting a whistle.
Knoken passes it out on the outlet to Feaster on the inbound. Being guarded like a blanket on McMillian.
5 seconds was Steve Elliott emphatic with the call.
So Feaster had to get rid of it within 5 seconds.
Yep, and so that's good defense. He was being closely guarded. That's called a closely guarded 5-second count.
Michael McMillian with the Velcro.
Shades of Juice Deasy.
Juice in the house tonight?
Hadn't seen him tonight. We know he was here. Like you mentioned, when Ronaldo was here, that's a travel.
Oh, Justin might have got away with that at the next level, or definitely the NBA.
Right.
Second turnover of the night. Looked pretty, though.
It did.
Looked like he was making the slide step move on the prom floor. Strings with it. Look out below. Puts up the teardrop. Won't fall. Rebound is put up and in nicely. And that's by Brandon Mills in the game. First time he's touched the ball. Getting some more length in there.
And Lou, they're going to give that basket to Mills. But if you ask me, I think Abner actually was the one who tipped it in. Maybe we'll see a replay of that later.
Anderson, well, now Abner has it. Back to Abner. Slips and falls, and the ball goes out of bounds. It will be Mira Costa ball. Now 3 turnovers on the Mustang. And Rufus, the Olympians are ice cold.
They are ice cold right now, and boy, you know, they've given up their 7-point lead, and they actually trail by 2, as you said, here early in the second quarter.
Deontay Welsh in the ball game for Devon Abner. Kim passes it over to Munch Winnitz in the ball game for the first time. 6:20 left to go in the half. A 2-point Mustang lead. Kim goes baseline. Stops, shoots, won't go down. Rebound is volleyball by Strings. That won't go down. Look out. Strings is holding his right leg. But I think he was just trying to protect himself as it goes out of bounds to the Olympians. Don't think there's a turnover on that. It just was a loose ball out of bounds.
Yep.
Childress brings it across with 6:05 left in the half. Anderson to McMillian. Childress.
Leuzinger only has the one double team score, and that's Eric Childress. But everybody else scores 7, 8 points. So they've got multiple guys that can put it in the basket.
Possession arrow facing towards the Olympians. And McMillian comes up with the ball, wrestling with Munch win it. But it was Mills who got the ball taken away from him. And he's still in the ball game. Did get a replacement in for the Mustangs. Back in the ball game, Oliver Mausner.
And Munch Winnett, number 3, is also in the game for him, and they pointed as a 3.
That's the second 3 in the ball game, Rufus, and a 1-point lead for the Olympians. Second 3-pointer for Welch. Kim to Munch for 3. Actually, that's Mausner, excuse me. His first bucket of the game. And a 2-point lead for the Olympians, and a backcourt violation by the Olympians again.
That's their second in the game. That's one of those no-nos, Lou.
Turnovers about even. 5 for the Mustangs, 4 for the Olympians. Now there's Munch, gets it over to Mausner. Mausner.
If there was ever a guy that wears his name well, I think Munch is one of those.
I'm looking for Stabler in this Law and Order SSVU unit.
Good block by Deontay Welch on that play. Strings was powering his way to the basket. Welch got a hand up, knocked it out of bounds.
Good defense by the Olympians. They're going to have to slow Justin down again tonight. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Win it with it. Now to Strings. Now a timeout called by Jeff Amaral with 8 seconds left. I believe that he thought his Mustangs didn't know the shot clock. Probably not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. 32nd timeout called by Mira Costa.
With 4:37 left, first time out of the ball game, and we're just about halfway through this quarter, Rufus. And it was 15-15 after the first quarter. Not a whole lot going on here in the second.
Not at all. Not at all. A very slow quarter for both teams.
Ali Pervaz told his guys to stay out there. Good strategy or not?
I think so. I think a very good strategy. You know, he's just trying to get a fire lit under these guys.
Winnett gets it to Strings, takes a long 2, won't go down, rebound, settles into Welch's hands, then back comes Delgado, gets it out to Childress. Thought about a long 3, but Kim came out to guard it. McMillian with 4:18 left in the half. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Childress double team.
And Leuzinger struggling right now against the zone. What you want to find is holes. Now you got Delgado on the baseline. That's a good foul. That's going to be in favor of the Olympians. It's going to be called on Munch Winnett.
Well, that was good recognition by Childress. Watch him finally. He just puts up the shot, and that's good basketball knowledge. You never know if it's going to fall in.
Absolutely. But you know, if you throw it toward the basket, you're going to get, you should be rewarded with a couple of free throws, and he was.
Childress can tie it up with 4:03 left. Eric is 1 out of 2 from the line early on. Now with 9 points. So Childress with 9, 4 points for Delgado, 7 for Welch. Only 3 Olympians to score, and that's knocked out of bounds and a
turnover by the Mustangs.
Ryan Kasif walking back into his zone defense with 3:45 left to go in the half. McMillian to Anderson for 3, a little bit short, right to Kasif. And back comes the Olympians, actually the Mustangs, with Mauser bringing it up to Feaster with 3:33 left to go in the first half. Mustangs are more active, Rufus, but it's a tie ball game. Strings makes it look easy.
Well, they're getting their big guy in the position that he likes to be in. He's got 8 points here in the early going, and that is down low on the baseline. You know, I mentioned earlier that I thought he was playing out top too much.
Delgado tried to get it to go in. Nice effort by Trey Anderson to stick with it and get his first bucket of the game to tie it back up. Under 3 minutes left to go. Feaster goes in underneath and is blocked underneath, and he'll get 2 at the line.
I think that foul's going to go against Welch, and it will.
First on Deontay, 3rd team foul. So at least the Olympians aren't committing fouls. And that's maybe keeping the score where it is, because the Mustangs aren't getting a whole lot of opportunities at the line.
But the reverse side of that coin, Lou, in terms of when you're not committing fouls, or at least having, at this stage only 3 in the game, that sometimes signals to me you aren't playing very aggressive defense.
Feaster, 65% from the free throw line. Doesn't make this one. Still with only 3 points, so 1 point lead for the Mustangs. Under 3 minutes, getting down to 2:45. Devon Abner. Now Childress. Nathan in the ball game. To Childress. 2-3 zone is pretty much sticking right where it is.
And it's causing the Olympians a lot of problems right now, forcing a lot of outside shots. That one didn't drop for him. Not getting very much in the paint at all.
Feaster, Kim from the corner. His first bucket's a 3, and their biggest lead of the night. 4 points. So the Olympians, with 2:05 left in the half, need to get that energy going, need to work up a sweat. Nathan was fouled, no call. Rebound is off. Strings with it. Mausner to Kim, going to try it again, a little short. Volleyballed out to Strings. Strings being guarded by Childress, or else he would have gone all the way to the bucket. Mausner with it. Good defense again. Strings too short. Ball chased down by Nathan. Good outlet to save it. And that was to McMillian with 1:30 left to go in the half. Mustangs back in that. Oh, nice pass underneath to McMillian from Childress. That's one way to break the old 2-3.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get inside the zone.
Alley-oop backdoor pass to McMillian from Childress. Kasif, nice pass on the give and go to Strings, but it won't go down. Back comes Devon Abner with 1:01 left to go in the first half. Nathan gets it to Abner. Childress wanted it, couldn't get it to him. Now Delgado will, with 52 seconds left. Whipped it underneath again on the backdoor try to McMillian, but it's tipped out of bounds by the Mustangs. And that poke on the hook will keep it in the Olympians' hands with 19 seconds left to go in the first half.
That was Kasif who tipped it out for Mira Costa. Otherwise, that was going to be another baseline drive and most likely a basket for the Olympians.
Childress.
Boom. A nice triple by Childress. Boy, pushes the Olympians back into the lead at 27-26 with 35 seconds left here in the first half.
Feaster with it as a dozen for Childress now on that three-pointer. That's his second one, Rufus. 25 seconds left. Feaster with the left hand. Can't get it to go down. Ball volleyball off the glass. Nathan comes up with it and gives it to Childress. So looks like the Olympians broke a sweat when they had to. Down by 4. They now lead by 1.
Right. They've outscored them. In fact, 5-0 because it was 26-22 at one point.
Childress double teamed. Has to heave it up at the buzzer, but it won't go down. Good defense by Kevin Kim on that one. And Eric Childress talking about it with his teammates. And 27-26 is our score going into halftime. And Rufus, these Olympians just kind of turned it on when they had to, really.
Absolutely. And right there, as you say, right in the last 2 minutes, because when we looked up, it was 26-22 in favor of Mira Costa. They clamped down on D and scored 5 unanswered to take the lead.
Now let's go to Egidio.
Coach, you have a 1-point lead going to halftime. So far, your strategy is pretty good. What are your thoughts on the half?
Those are a lot of 50-50 balls that we could have got our hands on the rebounds. When they bounced back to them, we didn't do a good job of securing the rebound. We got to do better than that in the second half. And also on the offensive end, when they zone us, that ball's got to move a little bit more. It's getting stuck in one place, and guys are standing to watch. So we're going to go talk about that at halftime, trying to get that ball moved around a little bit better.
Your team looked a little bit aggressive in the first half. Is that part of the strategy, or is this how you guys are playing?
We're always trying to be aggressive. I thought we could have done a better job moving the basketball, but I think we got to be aggressive. We got to play strong. I like to see us get a little bit more physical on the rebound. So.
A 1-point lead so far at halftime. Good luck, Coach. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, Egidio and Ali Parvaz, not liking what he saw out there.
Well, and what he said was exactly what I was saying. The ball wasn't moving against the zone. They were getting no penetration with it. They had the one great play by Eric Childress, which resulted in points. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to be able – one of the things you want to do is penetrate and dish if they're going to play a zone, which means you got to have cutters coming along the baseline. And I think that's what you'll see in the second half if Mira Costa decides to stay with a 2-3 zone.
We'll be back with the third quarter action and our unofficial stats when we come back. Third quarter action about ready to get underway. The Olympians with a 1-point lead over the Mustangs in a big battle as the Olympians trying to hang on to sole possession of second place. And let's talk to Sebastian Spencer.
Hey, thanks a lot, Lou. I talked to Coach Jeff Amaro right after the half about his Mira Costa Mustangs team exploiting their size. This team has over 6 guys that are over 6'3" on their team. The tallest guy on Leuzinger Olympians roster is Deontay Welsh, and he comes in at a considerably nice 6'3". So they're giving up a little bit of size tonight, but he says they're going to try to get it into Justin a little bit more, see if they can get in the inside more, because he's definitely exploiting those matchups. Back to you guys.
That would be Justin Strings, 2 Justins, 1 on each team. And there you see Jeff Amaral in his second year taking over for the legendary Henry Meyer, one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet, but then so is Jeff. And we appreciate him and his assistant coaches being available to us before tonight's ball game. And Ali Parvaz must be really chewing on those new uniforms inside the Leuzinger locker room, because they have yet to make an appearance back into Lou House. So why don't we go over the scoring? Justin Strings, the aforementioned Justin Springs, with 8 points and 3 rebounds, had 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 block shots in a loss against Redondo. Ryan Kasich with 2 points and 2 rebounds. Oliver Mausner with 3 points. And 3 points for KJ Garrett. 3 points for Kevin Kim on a 3-pointer. And 3 points for Cole Feaster. And for Connor Kernoken, he had 2 points and 2 rebounds, along with Brandon Mills in limited time had 2 points and 2 rebounds. As these Mustangs, they may not get a lot of time in there, but boy, do they contribute, and they play well for Jeff Amaral. Leuzinger Olympians, Eric Childress with 12 points, and Deontay Welch with 7 points and 1 rebound. They're going to have to depend on his length and his leaping ability. Michael McMillian, 2 points in the backdoor play and 1 rebound. And 4 points for Justin Delgado, all in the first quarter. Justin also had 2 rebounds in that first half, and 2 points and a rebound for Travion Anderson. And these Mustangs are very impressive. They get in there and get the job done.
They do. They do. They play good fundamental stuff, but give the Olympians credit against this team and against a player like Strings, who's been a force for them tonight. They held their own.
Justin Strings with a tight end body gets the inbound pass. Now it's a turnaround jump shot for Kasich, and they can't let him heat up. Now with 4 points and a 1-point lead back into the Mustangs' hands. 2-3 zone still employed. It's been working for him, so why not? Delgado for 3 from the corner, got it off the glass.
He certainly did. That's what I was going to mention, Lou. That not only was it a 3 from the side pocket, but he hit the glass. You realize how hard that is to do?
Did you see Justin shake his head as he came by us? Well, that's going to cost him a letter as Trey Anderson, good defense, knocks it out of bounds. And that's what the Olympians are going to have to depend on, is their tenacious defense.
And there's still another gear that they can hit, Lou, on defense.
At least one. Kevin Kim, long three-pointer, won't go down. Taken down by McMillian. Back comes Childress. Third quarter just underway. Glad you joined us on City TV. Delgado to Eric Childress. Back to Justin.
Now, Coach Ravaz talked about ball movement. Wow, that three looked good. Just a little bit long by Childress.
And back comes Cole Feaster for the Mustangs with 6:40 left to go in the third quarter. Justin Strings handling the ball. Is in the background. You can hear Jeff Amaral, the coach of Mira Costa, barking out instructions, or I guess I should say neighing instructions. Follow back jumper. Wasn't as pretty as Kobe's, but it still made it to the basket. Didn't go in. Welch, nice pass on the outlet to McMillian with the left-handed layup. Boy, the Olympians really need to take advantage of Michael's speed.
They absolutely do. And they can get out and run a little bit. There's another turnover they force here. Now they are running.
Oh.
Wow! I thought that was going to be a little bit long, Lou, but Deontay Welch got under it. I've got him down for 9 points here in the game so far.
Deontay's length and leaping ability coming into play there, Rufus. And a nice pass underneath. So the alley-oop working for the Olympians. Feaster double teamed, and Childress trying to steal the ball. Still loose. McMillian had it. Didn't get called for a travel. And Ali Pervaz calling for a 30-second timeout.
And a quick 30 given to him by the official, Steve Elliott, but he rules that they did have possession, keeping the players on the floor, of course, during a 30-second timeout. But Leuzinger, we talked about that other gear. They seem to be starting to hit it just a little bit here in the early going of the third quarter.
Judgment call is McMillian, or was it Stephen Nathan not getting called for the travel, even though he had the ball and sliding on his wall?
Slid on it. You're right. That was what I was sitting there waiting for it to be called, but it wasn't.
Now the officials, Steve Elliott and Kevin Houck, are talking about it. Don't know if they're talking about that particular play, but usually that's a given. 5:35. I know what you're doing. 5:30 left to go in the third quarter as the new Olympian basketball coach for the girls is back in town, and she's keeping the scorebook for the Olympians here. Gotta welcome her back.
Nice play by the Olympians on the offensive board to keep it alive. That's Penny over there, and Penny has waited her turn a long time to be the head coach here for the Olympians, girls basketball team.
Justly deserved. So is that. Michael McMillian with 6 points. He averages just under 5. And Leuzinger now out to an 8-point lead. I believe that's their biggest lead of the night.
That is. Their previous biggest lead was 7 at 11-4.
Feaster had to shoot it way over the arms of Trey Anderson. And he gets the ball back again. What a workhorse by Feaster. Too bad he didn't get the layup to go in.
But those volleyball taps are keeping the ball alive, although I thought that there was an offensive goaltending early on against number 10, Ryan Kasich.
Kasich with the bucket, Rufus. That's 6 for him. And that snaps a 9-0 run by Leuzinger. Childress to Delgado. Gets it back. 3-point try. Looks good just off the mark. Almost used the window again. How did Childress end up with it?
Wow. Reverse layup by Eric Childress. Now, something's happened that he's not happy about. I guess it was a foul, and he just kind of gave up on his defensive effort.
Strings trying to go against Delgado. We have a foul underneath, and that's going to be on Justin. And they're going to call it a shooting foul at that.
Wow.
Justin with his second personal, first team foul, and let's see if it's going to be a shooting foul after all. Kevin Hauk.
Well, Kevin's a new official in the South Bay, Lou. He came over from the LA unit. So, you know, he's because, you know, over the years, we get to know most of these guys and women. And that was the first thing I asked him. I said, I'm not familiar with you around here. And we had a nice brief conversation. He mentioned that he was new to the area in terms of this unit.
Knoken comes in for the Mustangs. Also, Munch is back in. Strings trying to make, yeah, he misses both. So right now, Leuzinger seems to be the better free throwing team on the season. 62% for the Mustangs, 65 for Leuzinger. McMillian saved that pass.
Yes, he did.
Whipped by Childress, skipped across. Back out front to Anderson, to Delgado. Good defense by Munch, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Nicely done by the Leuzinger Olympians, and a nice finish by Travion Anderson.
And Luke, what we saw on that play was the ball movement. That's exactly what Coach Pavaz talked about.
Steal by Welch. Here he comes.
Bam!
Jeff Amaral is seated up right now in the third quarter with 3:10 left to go. Timeout on the floor with a 12-point Leuzinger lead.
Wow, and that's what you call breaking the game open, at least for the moment. As you see, Deontay Welcher sky for the slam dunk, and he cupped that one. That wasn't I can almost dunk. That is a I can dunk.
That's it. But great defense on the play before on Justin Strings and Cole Feaster as Eric Childress tipped the ball away, and then Welch was off to the races. So for Welch, he has 11 points now in that slam at 3:10. So Leuzinger, as you see Trey Anderson and Justin Delgado talking about that dunk. So Leuzinger, well, actually Mira Costa, by not making those two free throws,
open the door for him. You know, and what has happened, Lou, again, we talked about it 2 or 3 minutes ago, was that second gear, that higher gear that they could hit, and what it seems like they finally hit it.
Let's go to Sebastian real quick.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. 26-27 after that first half. Then Leuzinger scoring 17 straight points right there. Already 42-30. Back to you guys. This is exactly what he said. Coach Amaral said he did not want to happen. Leuzinger's getting the hold of the game. Back to you.
Thanks, Sebastian. And a three-pointer by Deontay Welch, who is red hot. As red as the shoes they got. Hey, maybe it's got to be the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes.
Three-point shot buried by Oliver Mausner. He has 6, 2 3-pointers.
And now Leuzinger is just completely, as that basket was scored by Michael McMillian, and you're going to have a travel call against Mira Costa. But here's what's happened. This is the key. Leuzinger has forced them completely out of that zone defense, which was so successful for him in the first half.
Eric Childress blows by Munch, but kicks it back out to Anderson, who loses the ball to Munch. Whipped it down to Springs, but stolen by Welch, and back comes Leuzinger. Here comes Delgado.
Wow, nice move. Woo! Hey, I like that. Justin Delgado with the spin move.
9 points for JD. 49-35, 14-point lead for the Olympians. Another turnover. Tipped away from Feaster. Childress pirouetting up behind the back, trying to do everything to get rid of Feaster. Can't do it. Gets it to McMillian. Way up. Deontay Welch. Back to Deontay, who's had the game of his career tonight. Munch tips the ball away, and it'll remain Leuzinger ball. 16 seconds on the shot clock, 1:32 on the game clock in the third quarter. Wow.
And now Leuzinger is scoring in waves, Lou, in 5, 6, 7-point waves.
22 points here in the third quarter, Rufus. Quite 180 from the second quarter. Delgado with a wild shot that almost found the bottom of the bucket.
Certainly did.
He's going to have to say an extra prayer tonight for that to go down. 1:12 left to go in the third quarter. Feaster trying to get around Anderson. 3-point try by Knoken. Won't go down. Rebound is tipped around, and is that a loose ball foul? It's got to be a reach in.
Yep. Looks like he called it on Cole Feaster.
First team foul in the half. Only 2 team fouls here in the third quarter, Rufus. Let's watch it. As Kasich went up for the rebound, couldn't control it. And Travion Anderson caused that foul on Feaster. Full court, well, actually nice half-court pressure by the Mustangs with 47 seconds left to go in the quarter. Man pressure.
Abner could have turned and drove on the pass that he received. Now he's out top directing traffic.
Delgado with it.
Whoa.
Feaster reached in, no call. Nathan gets rid of Strings. Ball is off and out of bounds with 1 second left on the shot clock. And we're going to change possessions. So Mira Costa with it, as they have only scored 9 points in the quarter. And bringing it across is Munch. 16 seconds left on the game clock, so the shot clock is dark. Getting a pick from Kasich. Strings with it, being guarded by Nathan, picked up by Welsh. Great defense by the Olympians with 3 seconds left.
That'll be short.
And that was partially blocked by Welsh as the quarter comes to an end. And what a quarter by the Olympians. That's their best quarter that we have seen, at least I have seen this season.
And you're exactly right, Lou. And as evidenced by the fact that they held Mira Costa to 9 points in the quarter. You mentioned it. They scored 22, so they outscored them by 13. They led by 1 at the half. That makes a 14-point lead. Puts them in nice position heading into the fourth quarter. But the key is you can't have a letdown. They got to keep the pressure on. This is a very good Mira Costa team, folks. Don't bite into the hype of this 14-point lead and think the game is over, because it's not.
The Mustangs score almost 62 points a ball game, Rufus. These Olympians 59. And we are here at Lou House.
Well, the Olympians are certainly on the mark for their 59, considering they're sitting on 49. It'd be, I think, a real
they can
breakdown.
coast.
Exactly.
They'd have to have another second quarter.
Yep.
And I'm sure they don't want to do that. Right in front of us is Justin Delgado. I know his mom's watching the TV, and she's here tonight. He said hello, so his biggest fan. 7:50 left to go in the ball game, just underway. Travion Anderson says, "I'll take that." Couldn't get the sweet roll off the glass, but the rebound is chased down. Stephen Nathan almost took it away from the Mustangs, but Cole Feaster brings it up.
Well, he got away with it.
Strings using his body to get that bucket. He has 10 points, didn't get any in the third quarter, Rufus. Nathan has his shot blocked by Mausner, and back come the Mustangs on the fast break, but who's faster on defense?
Leuzinger gets back very well, and of course they really got to defend. You don't want to give this team some life here in the early going.
Eric Childress actually took some time off.
Right.
Took about 50 or 49 seconds off.
And with the minute in between, he got about a 2-minute break.
Well, officially 49 seconds. What's he turning into, a slacker? I doubt it. No.
Excellent ball movement again by the Olympians, and scoring for them on that play. We haven't called his name at all, Javion Jamison.
Not in a long time. So JJ in the ball game. Feaster couldn't get it up over the rim. Rebound is off by JJ. Bounce pass from Welsh to Anderson. Alley-oop! Oh. And the rebound is put up and in by JJ.
And that forces Mira Costa into another timeout as we go to the timeout with the Olympians leading by a score of 53-37 on your CityTV Sports Network.
Childress missing, and then Javion Jamison was there. And he's averaging 2.6 points a game, Rufus. And he's got 4. Let's go to well, as soon as we can get things ready, we're going to have an update from Egidio. And right now, Rufus, 14 points for Deontay Welsh, 14 for Eric Childress. And almost in double figures is Justin Delgado with 9. Leading scorer for the Mira Costa Mustangs. And right now it's Justin Strings who just got his 10th point on that nice little turnaround hook shot. Now let's go to Egidio.
The Olympians' strategy going into this game was defense tonight, and so far they've done that. They've held the Mustangs to only 37 points. Every game this season, the Mustangs scored at least 40 or more. So far, they've scored 37, and there's about 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes remaining in the game. We'll see what happens. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Egidio, as Dylan Kim in the ball game for the first time for the Mustangs. And now it's back into the hands of the Olympians. 3-point try by Childress. Buries it right between the eyes.
And now we're up to a 19-point lead, Lou, for the Olympians at 56-37.
Alley-oop try won't go down. Ripped out of the hands of Garrett by Anderson. Gets it to Childress, and I know that's Abner, and he gets his first bucket of the game, Rufus. So the Olympians are making the Mustangs pay for their mistakes. Garrett with it, trying to go up and under, and it's going to be is that going to be a player control or a block?
No, it's going to be a blocking foul against Delgado, and I must admit he's asking himself the same question that I was. It's like, okay, I was standing there straight up. I think he reached over with the hand and may have initiated some contact.
KJ Garrett to the line, a 70% free throw shooter. You can see why. Here's a replay on a beautiful shot, beautiful play by the Olympians. And sitting down is Javion Jamison, who was in for just a few minutes but really made his presence felt, Rufus.
He gave him a real spark, Lou.
I'm thinking tip of the hat. Delgado with an easy bunny. 11 for him, so that's 3 Olympians in double figures, Rufus, with Michael McMillian knocking on the door with 8. And a foul by Abner, and a good play by Oliver Mausner to get Abner up in the air and stay down with the ball and let him land on him.
Nice pump fake. It looks like they're going to send him to the line. They are. The 2 shots on that.
Don't know how that's going to be because he wasn't even locked and loaded. He was trying to pass the ball.
And they give him, if I'm not mistaken, 3 shots on the play since
they would have to.
Outside the arc, yeah.
Okay. 7 points for Oliver, who is a 75% foul shooter. Cuts it to 19. And 8 points for Mausner. Nice save by Childress. Good thing he's got the hops. Anderson, Childress trying to get around Kim with the behind the back.
Coach tells him to reset and start the movement of the ball again.
Childress and 1. Let's see if they give him a 3 or is it a long 2.
Well, that's what I was looking to see.
Okay, it was 62.
Right,
so 60. So here we go, Rufus. Yeah, that's a 2. So the and 1 try by Eric is good. 20 points for Childress. Mausner throws the ball away right into the hands of Welch. Delgado goes in between the Mustangs and their black jerseys. Can't get it to go down. Kim gets the rebound.
Drew a lot of iron, just couldn't get it. It was right on the lip of it to go.
KJ Garrett with it, runs into Deontay Welsh with a headbutt, but he's okay. Delgado Nice finish by Abner.
Very nice finish by Abner.
And a timeout.
The timeout, a needed timeout because the score now 65-41. Leuzinger just pouring it on in complete control of the game with 4 minutes to go. I don't think it's a second too early, Lou, at this point to say that the Olympians, as we watch the replay there of the follow, the excellent follow by Davon Abner.
It sure was. As just purely befuddled as Jeff Amaral and the Mustangs, who had a good first half. Kind of like a carbon copy of the first game between these two at Mira Costa, where Leuzinger beat them 60-52.
Right, and what's interesting, Lou, is that, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, is just 2 nights ago, they played Redondo at Redondo.
Right.
To a 6-point game. It was a loss, but, you know, here against this Leuzinger team, you're getting blown out by 24.
Well, that brings more intrigue for the final game of the season on February 5th, where we're hoping to be at Redondo to see if the Olympians can bring their A game. Munch going through the trees, and he'll get 2 shots at the line.
Now, just as he's preparing to shoot 2 free throws, to talk about what's left the rest of the way, Redondo has West tonight. Then they've got Palos Verdes, and they end up with Leuzinger. Leuzinger has West on Tuesday night, and they'll close out the season, the Bay League season, next Thursday night at Redondo Union, which, by the way, fans, is a game that will be carried by us right here at CityTV. And Mira Costa will end their season up on the hill as they take on Peninsula and PV.
Munch now with 2 points. And Leuzinger now playing keep away with 3:45 left to go in the 4th quarter. Anderson to Abner. You know, a lot of ways, Rufus, this is also a coming out party for Welsh and Abner. They've had some terrific ball games tonight.
They certainly have.
Kim to Munch. Skipped down the lane and left-handed layup. Nicely done by Munch Winnett. He has 4 points, 4 in a row. Cuts the lead to 20 points. Anderson gets it over to Avery Berry in the ball game.
If Avery Berry wants to stay in the game, he better learn how to catch those passes that are thrown to him. Wasn't quite ready on that one.
Coming down to 3:05 left to go in the 4th quarter. Munch down low to Kim. Ali Pervaz going to start clearing his bench. Has already started, actually. Rebound is off to Austin Torin. 3-pointer by Munch. In and out. Rebound up high by Trey Anderson. He was way over the rim with his hands. Childress now with it. 3-point shot by Berry.
Berry decides, I'm going to get me one before I get out of here. Yeah. Whoa!
Hello, Eric. Right in front of us. So now in the ball game, number 10, Dante Johnson. Dante in for Travion Anderson. And is Childress done for the night as well? I believe so. As back in the ball game is Javion Jamison taking Childress' spot. McKim with the rebound. This is Dylan Kim. And the ball is saved by the Mustangs.
Wow, and that shot put up and in by Knoken. That's a triple.
He now has 7 points. A 20-point game. Look out. Here comes Johnson. Gets his own rebound. He's going to try to go back up with it, but brings it back out. That's a smart thing to do. Just take the pressure off. Especially with a 20-point lead and under 2 minutes left to go. Dante gets it to Abner. Nice move. Gets his own rebound. Keeps it. Gets it back out. Jamison almost got his second in a row. Rebound by Knoken. And back come the Mustangs with 1:38 left to go in the 4th quarter. Knoken up and under. Won't go down. Little playground move. Rebound is taken by Jamison. And back come the Olympians with 1:25 left and a timeout on the floor by Ali Parvaz with 1:26 left to go, wanting to get his last player off the game, his last starter off the board.
And that's Chris Drain, number 12, a senior, that he was wanting to get into it. One of the things, you know, if you're one of these guys that's getting some rather infrequent playing time, one of the things you want to do is play good defense, protect the ball, and hustle. You know, that's how you increase your playing time. Guys coming out just a little bit dragging, you know, for this opportunity that they've had to get in for basically the last 3 minutes of this one.
There's Connor Knoken of the Mira Costa Mustangs on your screen. Here's Dante Johnson rumbling and stumbling down, now gets it to Drain. Who knows what to do with it? He drains the bucket. 70-48, coming down to 105. In the ball game is Tim Scharr for the Mustangs. Also in is John Michael Watson. Three-pointer by Dylan Kim. That won't go down. Knoken gets the rebound. That looked like a travel. No call on Scharr. And the rebound up high by Jamison. And this second unit is looking pretty good, Rufus, with 45 seconds left.
They are.
Avery Berry.
Berry gets two. Avery Berry putting himself in the tip of the hat discussion, at least.
Wow, he and Jamison are battling it out. Scharr with it, with 23 seconds left to go in the ball game. Well in hand for the Olympians. Dylan Kim looking for his first bucket. There's got to be a lid on it, he thinks, as Johnson brings it up court with 10 seconds left. And now the crowd, that must be Avery Berry's family, and Avery throws it away. Actually, it went off of a Mustang hoof. It'll remain Leuzinger ball with 1.3 seconds left.
1-3 left, and this one is all but done. 73-48 should be the final, and that's what it will be as the Olympians thoroughly dominate in the second half, Lou. I mean, just completely annihilate the Mustangs of Mira Costa, who came out tonight with high expectations and are obviously going to leave the gym tonight disappointed tremendously, as they were outscored in the second half. That's 46 points that the Olympians put up, 46-12 in the second half, by my count. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. 24 points put up in the fourth quarter. What a second half Leuzinger had. So whatever Ali Parvaz did, whether he literally lit their shoes on fire, I don't know. But they were in that locker room for a long time. So whatever he said sunk in. And it's a 73-48 victory for the Leuzinger Olympians. And let's go out to the floor where we have an interview with the winning coach.
Coach, you talk about defense being very important before the start of this game. Today, you kept the Mustangs to under 50 points for the second time this season. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's got to be our bread and butter if we want to go far this year. We got to play good defense. Thought in the second half we came out, we really played tough, we communicated. We were able to get in the passing lanes and create some turnovers, some easy baskets for ourselves, which really got the momentum on our side.
Your team really ran away with this score after halftime. I don't know what you told them, but it worked. Do you think your team's ready for the playoffs?
I hope so. You know, we got 2 more games. We can't get ahead of ourselves right now. We got to get ready for West Torrance on Tuesday.
Great job, Coach. Thanks a lot. Good luck. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio. And again, a big 73-48 win for the Leuzinger Olympians, who improved to 19-5 overall, 7-1, and hang on to second place in the Bay League, depending on what Redondo does tonight. And now let's go to Sebastian.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I'm here with the leading scorer for the Olympians tonight, Eric Childress. How did it feel to get that win out there? You guys went from leading by 1 at the end of the game to ended up beating them by 20. How did that happen?
It felt good because Coach told us that it's time to get ready for playoff basketball. And the way we're going to win in the playoffs is playing defense. So we knew we had to come out hard playing defense and pressure up and run our defensive sets because we got a lot of them.
Last time you guys played Mira Costa, it was kind of a little bit of a closer game than this tonight. So explain how you guys wanted to come out and set the tone for tonight.
In the first half, we ended up doing like the same thing that we did last time, but this time, coach reminded us that this is the same thing that happened, so we got to come out harder than we did last game and beat them by more.
What has Coach been expressing to you guys in practice since that loss here to Redondo? I know you guys were kind of ready to try to, Trey Anderson trying to get a little camera time right now, but what were you guys talking about in practice after that loss to have you guys back focused again?
Coach always told us that it's the next game. Like, we don't worry, but we're going to see him again. So it's the next game. Just worry about our next game, and we're going to see him at the end, our last game of league.
There you go. Eric Childress, you guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Sebastian, and a good job by both Egidio and Sebastian, and I'm sure that we're going to try to get some more players tonight for this post game. And 73-48, Rufus, an impressive win, probably the most impressive win by the Olympians, not only this season but in quite a long time.
In quite a long time. And let me just make one minor correction so folks know I can't count. Mira Costa scored 22 points in the second half, not 12 as I originally
12,
reported.
huh?
But nonetheless, Leuzinger dominated the second half. Again, went in the locker room at halftime leading by 1, 27-26, and then just exploded in the third quarter, doing exactly what Coach Pavard said, what we had noted. The 2-3 zone was giving them trouble because they weren't attacking it properly. He said in the halftime interview that I'm going to tell the guys they got to move the ball around quickly. They came out, they did that, and they completely took them out of the zone and forced them into trying to cover a man-to-man and getting into that Leuzinger running game. And from there, the wheels just completely came off for Mira Costa, and a big win for the Olympians. And it was great to see the enthusiasm level rise, Lou, because that first half, boy, there wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm in the gym. There wasn't a whole lot of enthusiasm on the floor.
That's true. A small crowd. Maybe the Olympians like to play to those bigger crowds. But I tell you what, Rufus, why don't we take a quick timeout as we add up the scores and the rebounds, and we'll come back not only with the stats, but our player of the game and who is going to get the Tip of the Hat award. We'll be back in just a moment. Back here at Lou House, where it's a big 73-48 victory, and everybody's happy that's not wearing a green shirt tonight in Lou House. And let's go over the scoring rundown for the Mira Costa Mustangs, who fall to 15-9 overall and 4-4 in the Bay League, and third place in the Bay League, depending on, well, actually, they will remain in third place no matter what tonight. Munch Winnett's had 4 points, and Justin Strings had 10 points and 4 rebounds. The only Mustang in double figures tonight, but still being held to 10 points. He averages well over that, almost 14 points a ball game, their leading scorer. 6 points and 3 rebounds for Ryan Kasich, 8 points and 2 rebounds for Oliver Mausner, 5 points for KJ Garrett, who came off the bench and played really well for Coach Amaral, and 3 points for Kevin Kim, and he was really a defensive standout tonight. Had to guard Eric Childress all night long. I'm sure he's going to sleep good tonight.
He's certainly tired.
3 points for Cole Feaster, 7 points and 2 rebounds for Connor Kanokin, and 2 points for Brandon Mills and 2 rebounds as well for 48 points. For the Leuzinger Olympians, number 1, Eric Childress, just another night at the office, with 20 points and 1 rebound, and he averages almost 18 points a ball, averaging 16 points a ball game. 14 points and 2 rebounds for Deontay Welsh, and like we were saying, Rufus, that's more like a coming out party.
Sure, absolutely.
And then 1 rebound for Dante Johnson, who came in late, and Michael McMillian, another coming out party, was all over the place. 8 points and 2 rebounds for Michael, and Chris Drain had 2 points, 4 points and 2 rebounds for Devon Abner, who also played a good game tonight. And Justin Delgado, still getting better every game, 11 points and 3 rebounds, a big contribution on both sides of the ball, and did have 7 points in the first half. And 6 points, both on 3-pointers, by Avery Berry. 4 points and a rebound by Javion Jameson, who came off the bench in the fourth quarter. And 4 points and 1 rebound for Travion Anderson. A tough night, but still with a big big defensive presence as well.
Absolutely, and the point total for Trey does surprise you a little bit when you hear 4. But there are a couple of other guys that really came in and got some opportunities for themselves. And so it was good to see great team effort by the Olympians.
Let's go to Sebastian Spencer who has a special guest.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I'm here with the coach for the Mira Costa Mustangs, Coach Amaral. Coach, what do you think went wrong in that second half?
You know what? I think Leuzinger got on a little run. They hit some outside shots, turned us over. Our game plan in the first half was go inside, and that seemed to we went away from that a little bit too much in the second half.
And Strings, he was having a really good game in the first half. Kind of went away from going in the inside to him in the second half. So the big man inside, he had a really good game, Keiser. So what did you guys try to go to more in that second half?
You know what? I don't know if it was so much of what we didn't do. I thought Leuzinger did a nice job making some adjustments to prevent us from getting the ball inside.
Coach, it was very, very close after the first half. Do you think noise affected the second half? Because the crowd got into it a lot in the third and fourth quarter. Do you think that had anything to do with Leuzinger getting a big run?
Yeah, when you play Leuzinger on a Friday night, you know that they're going to, once 2 or 3 baskets go straight, they're going to get some momentum. We tried to stop it a few times with timeouts, and it just didn't seem to work.
And how do you think your team is getting prepared for the playoffs coming up?
Well, tonight most certainly is a disappointment. However, after we brush this one off, we'll be fine.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And, Coach, what do you tell your guys to regroup after this loss? You guys have been on the end of so many losses where it's just been you've been right there. You've been right there. What do you tell them?
Forget about tonight, move on to the 2 games that we got to get next week.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Sebastian, and also Egidio. And don't know if we're going to go back to them or not for their comments, but well, as long as we're back here,
Right.
is it time?
It's time. Let's
It's
handle our
time.
business.
For player of the game, or are they ready over there with Sebastian and Egidio? Because we don't want to give it away. I mean, the player of the game and the tip of the hat, that's the icing on the cake. So why don't we go back to Sebastian and Egidio?
Hey, thanks a lot, Lou and Rufus. I'm here with our newest Channel 22 colleague, Egidio DeLeo. Did I say that right?
You got it. You got it right on the first try.
Me and Egidio were on the sidelines watching this Leuzinger Mira Costa game tonight. What did you see from Leuzinger that just impressed you?
Well, I heard a lot about Childress, and he definitely lived up to the hype. Very, very athletic, as you saw in the fourth quarter when he leaped up and had an interception and a pass. You could tell his athleticism. Great athlete, a great team overall. I was very impressed.
Definitely. I think some place where Mira Costa went wrong tonight, like Coach said, not going in the strings as much as they did in the first half. They had that height advantage a lot. Like I said earlier, a lot of the players on this team over 6'3", over 6'5". So how do you bounce back, like Coach said, after a loss like this?
You just have to forget about it. And like usually coaches tell their players, one game at a time, forget the past and look into the future. They got to look into their next game and forget this completely happened and focus on their next opponent.
And Leuzinger, the last time we were here broadcasting, they suffered that loss to Redondo. And the next time we'll be broadcasting is when they'll be at Redondo. So that should be a very exciting game for them. And how do you expect the Leuzinger Olympians to come out that night trying to avenge that loss?
I heard a lot about there's a little rivalry between the coaches and the players that used to coach here and now he's coaching at Redondo. So it should be a great matchup. I know it's very anticipated, especially since Leuzinger got a loss against Redondo last time. So it should be a great game. I haven't seen Redondo, but Leuzinger really impressed me. I think they should, go over there and win.
Yeah, definitely. Leuzinger, Redondo will be a great game. Redondo will fight just as hard as they did last time. I guarantee that with Coach Morris over there. But back to Lou and Rufus.
Is that a question or a comment? I guess that's a comment because we're back.
That's right.
That is a fact. It's not a question. We are back here. Rufus Washington and Lou Stowers and Sebastian Spencer, along with Egidio DeLeo. If I got that right, you owe me $5, or at least a nickel, since it is a big game.
It's better I owe it to you than Jose Bravo. That's for sure.
I never see it. So now something that we did see, the player of the game, time for that. And a big game for the Leuzinger Olympians. 73 points. It had to reach one of their high point totals. They, we won't look at that, but we do know that they have gotten into the 70s against Hawthorne. That's for sure. And also against Cardinal Hayes, just looking down the schedule real quickly. But who is your player of the game tonight?
Well, our player of the game is, as we talked about, Deontay Welch, number 2. Deontay had a big game. He stepped up. You know, we talk about Childress, we talk about Trey, we talk about Delgado, and week after week after week, we've seen Deontay make steady progress. And as you said earlier, tonight was kind of like a coming out party for him, where he really made some valuable contributions for the Olympians.
That's right. The 6'4" senior was leaping out of the building. Averages almost 8 points a ball game, had 14 points tonight, and it was also a big reason the defense did so well tonight.
Right, because he had to take strings. Exactly. And that's another good point to mention, that he was the primary defender on him, with some help from Justin Delgado. But Deontay Welch did a very good game, and congratulations, Deontay, on being our player of the game.
Very prestigious award, also very prestigious, the new Tip of the Hat award. And boy, there's lots of young men who were worthy of that tonight, because it seemed like everybody that was on the floor contributed in some way or another. Not maybe in the scorebook, but look at that hat. You don't get that at the Big Lot store.
No, you don't.
No.
And guess what? Number 11, Michael McMillian. You are the Tip of the Hat award winner tonight. Congratulations on a great game by you. 8 points, but that doesn't even begin to tell the story. It was the forced turnovers that he created starting in the second half, and pushing the ball up the floor is what contributed to this Leuzinger win, and it's great to see a guy like Michael have that kind of game tonight. So I congratulate him on being the Channel 22 Tip of the Hat award winner.
And not only that, but actually, he scored the bucket of the game in the second quarter when Leuzinger was flat. Eric Childress whipped that pass through the 3-2's defense, and then the backdoor layup by McMillian. And that's what started the Leuzinger Olympians rolling to that big 73-48 win. Well, that's going to do it here. We got to put a bow on this one and put this one up in the shelf as a win for the Leuzinger Olympians. Once again, the final score from Lou House. The Leuzinger Olympians improved to 7-1 in Bay League action with a 73-48 win over the Mira Costa Mustangs, who fall to 4-4 in Bay League action. For Gideon DeLiu and Sebastian Spencer, Rufus Washington, and the terrific City TV crew, this is Lou Stowers telling you until next time, so long.